Hey guys, Blake Mitchell here again with problem number 10 off of your practice test number 2 for chapter 7. Let's get started. So the problem states, find an equation of the graph. You can clearly see the graph right there. Your first step is going to be to identify what function is taking place there. Is it sine, cosine, cotangent, tangent, secant, or cosecant? Now, you know what the sine function looks like, you know what a cosine function looks like. Clearly this is not one of them, but what I like to do, I like to draw sine or cosine out just to help me out, because typically if you draw them out, it usually leads you to discover what function it is. Clearly it is not tangent or cotangent, so your only options left are cosecant and secant. Like I said, helpful tip, draw out the sine function or cosine function to help you determine what it is. Just to save on time, I'm going to draw the cosine function. So if you can see the dotted line I put there, that's what the cosine function would look like. Now, you know, secant is just the reciprocal of cosine, so all these little, I like to call them hills that you see, are going to be flipped. So clearly we can see that this is going to be a secant function. So you have that. Next, you're going to want to find what the amplitude of the function is. So if you look closely at the graph, you can pinpoint what the exact amplitude is, and it looks to be at 4. So you already have y equals 4 secant, whatever the next part may be. Next, you're going to want to identify what the period is. Now, how you get to the period is by looking at what one of the full cycles is. So from here to there. And it looks like a full cycle is going to be at 4 pi. Alright, so seeing as 4 pi is our... Now that's not going to be your x value. How you arrive at the period is 2 pi over x equals 4 pi. Because 2 pi over x equals your period. Seeing as how your period is 4 pi, your x value is really what is going to be next to the x that is in the parentheses next to the secant function when you're writing out the equation for the graph. So if you do a little math, you can clearly see that x is going to equal 1/2. And right now you have 4 secant over 1/2 x. Now, your next step would be to identify if there's any phase shift going on. Seeing as how they're not, your equation is finished, and your answer is y equals 4 secant 1/2 x. There's number 10 for you on practice test number 2 for chapter 7. I hope this helped you in your understanding of how to write equations out for graphs. This is Blake Mitchell. Glad I could help. I'll see you guys later. Peace to the OUT. I'm gone.